If you caught one of my earlier videos, that you know that just over a week ago I added a Pilot Vanishing point to my collection. Love this pen, absolutely love it. It was on my hit list, my wish list for quite a while. I was able to go ahead and procure it. I got a 992 Jinhao. Yeah, it's only a $1.99 pen. I've been saying for a while, fountain pen collecting doesn't have to be expensive. This pen here costs like 65 times more than this pen over here. But that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Actually, it's closer to 75 times more now that I think about it. Let's see. I've got a bunch of pens still on order. Today was a good pen day for me. I had 3 of them show up in the mail just today. I'm going to introduce you to a couple of those. Let's see. I got a couple more Esterbrooks on the way. I've recently increased my Esterbrook family, and you know, I went from just about 3 of them up to this many, and yes, they all work. And yes, I've replaced the ink bladder or the ink sac in most of these, and I've got them all writing. And only one of them's kind of annoying because it was like writing with that particular nib, which was actually not a bad thing because it gave me a challenge. But it kind of writes like at first like you were writing with a sewing needle. It was that scratchy, and it would actually tear the paper. So, but that's been fun. I picked up a couple of Bauers, a Bauer 79, a Bauer 517. I think the 79 is a knockoff of a Star Walker by Mont Blanc, and actually it writes okay. Bauer 517 wrote better than I thought it would, and I've actually got a writing sample of that here as well. My pen giveaway. I've been giving away some pens. I've gotten a bunch of Jinhao 599s that I've been giving away, and I've probably given away about a dozen of them so far out of 36 of them. And just yesterday, as I'm recording this, we were at Dunkin' Donuts. We stopped there as a family on the way to church to get some coffee and some breakfast, and as I was signing my receipt, the girl behind the counter said, "Ooh, that's a nice writing pen." I just simply said, "Do you want it? You can have it." And I gave her my card too that tells her how to get more information on the fountain pen habit. So I need something, a lesson learned. I need to carry more than one of these around, because I didn't have a pen at that point. Oh, let's see what else. And speaking of those 599s, there can be a huge variation in those nibs. I've had a 599 that wrote very smoothly, very nice, and I gave that one away to somebody, and she absolutely loves it, and she said it writes better than her Pilot Metropolitan that she bought. I inked one up just the other day, and my wife saw it. She wrote with it, said, "Ooh, I like that." So she absconded it. So the one that I gave away yesterday was the one that I took back from her, and I had flushed it out, re-inked it up, and I got it writing fairly well with the nice ink that I had, and that's the one I gave away. So now I inked up this yellow one. That'll be the next one I try to give away, and probably next weekend I'll have the opportunity to give away a bunch more. Today was mail day. I actually got several pens in the mail. One of which, and like I said, fountain pen collecting does not have to be expensive unless you really want it to. This particular pen right here, this is a 1980s Sheaffer pen. It has an Italic nib on it. It is their No Nonsense pen, and it was not expensive. These pens were actually fairly inexpensive back in the 80s, and it was just what it says. It's a no nonsense pen. So I inked that sucker up. I put in Liberty's Elysium by Noodlers that I got from Goulet Pens. That's their blue in cooperation with Noodlers. So another pen that I got was this one right here. This one, this nice little Seafoam Green, is probably circa 1955. It's been reconditioned. Not a very expensive pen at all. $10. That's all I paid for this one. You can see it's a lever-filled pen. It's got a little steel nib on it. This particular pen, let's see, I inked it up with this Wearever Supreme with Noodler's Squeteague, which is a blue, a greenish blue or a bluish green, depending upon how you want to look at it. Matter of fact, I can show you some of those samples. This was the Squeteague here, because it's more of a fine point. Even though it's a medium nib, it's actually more of a fine point. And this one here was the Italic nib, and that was the Noodler's Elysium, Liberty's Elysium. But the one that I was kind of excited about was this one right here. That's a gorgeous pen, isn't it? This pen right here was a custom-made pen out of Kannapolis, North Carolina. There was a guy there who makes these and sells them on Etsy, ETSY, that website that a lot of craftspeople use. I filled this with Robert Oster's Fire and Ice Blue ink, and this is made out of deer antler. Deer antler. Now that is really sweet. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this particular pen, and I'll put up on here the addresses to where to get it, but Wood Wonders of North Carolina Deer Antler. Now, this pen right here, first glance, when I saw it on the website, I said, that's a gorgeous pen. He had 3 of them that were larger from which to choose. A couple of observations first. Okay, it's got a nice bone color. It's got chrome. It's got a 2-tone trim here on the cap. Chrome at the base. Chrome at the finial. And actually, it looks like it's a heavy pen. And you know what? It is. My wife thinks it's too heavy for her. And for me, not so much. I mean, I can deal with it. And I'll tell you what I like about it and what I didn't. I mean, it looks like it's hefty. It looks like it's sturdy. The beautiful pen that it is and the chrome. It's 5 5/8 inches long capped. 2.5 ounces heavy. All total. 1.1 ounce is the cap alone, and 1.4 ounces is the rest of the pen inked up. This is probably a kit pen, and that's fine. Woodworkers will do a design according to a kit, and they will, the metal, all the fittings that come with it, they'll put all those together quite often. I don't have the skill to do that. I wish that I did, but I don't have a lathe. I don't have the woodworking ability. I'm just not that good at it. So, unscrewing it, you've got that black threads there. And it is a cartridge converter, international standard. The nib on it is, all it says basically on it, as I recall, is just West Germany, or well, West Germany, just plain Germany, and iridium. So, that's all it says, iridium in West Germany. As if it's still West Germany. But anyway, so I'm assuming it's like a Jowo nib. If it's out of Germany, I'm assuming it's Jowo. I don't know. It does not say on it. But I keep needing to hold this up so you can see what I'm doing with it. But, instead of working with wood, it worked with deer antler. And they polish this up really nice. It shines up really nice. It's a nice gloss to it. Very smooth to the touch. And it is a little heavy, and there's no way you're going to post this and be able to write with it. You're going to have to leave it unposted. The downside to that is there's no clip, so it's not going to stop rolling if you don't set it down properly. My wife thought it was a little too heavy, but not for me. I can deal with it. It's got a good heft to it. It's not tip heavy, but it's not too heavy at the back. It's big enough for my big old paws to be able to hold it. So lengthwise I can deal with it. The section here, nice and smooth, and it's long. It's got a good long section, so you can grip anywhere on there and it's going to be comfortable. And there's a little taper down towards the center and out. What I found is, yes, there's plenty of room to grip, but after using it for a while, because of the weight, you do get a little bit of hand fatigue. I mean, just working with that, my notes on this pen alone, got a little bit of hand fatigue as I was writing, but the nib is smooth. It's probably a medium. I requested a medium. I told the guy when I ordered him, I said I tend to like medium pens. He was very communicative, so that was good. Let's see, what else? This is not a negative on the pen so much, but right back here, this is where I've been storing my pen collection, and you can see where I've got them labeled as to brands and all. This will not fit in any of these drawers here. It's too fat to fit in. And that's okay. That's not a problem with a pen. That's a problem with my selection of drawers. All my cigar-shaped pens are too big to fit. So that's nothing new for me as far as those. It's got a very long nib. So one of the things that, and the fill hole is a little far up. So the problem I had, I tried to fill it with one of these little Goulet ink sample vials. And so I got some Robert Oster Fire and Ice in a sample. Could not fill it just by twisting the piston on the converter to get it up. It started to suck some up, and that's about as far as it went. So it acted like just a dip pen. There's nothing in it. So I literally had to take the converter out, stick it down in, fill up the converter. All right, get rid of the air in the converter. Okay, good. And stick it into the section. And my hands look a whole lot better now, but it looked like I had killed a Smurf. I was so blue everywhere. So definitely, if you get some of these nice oversized pens, that whether they're from kits or whatever, just be wary of that. You want to fill them from an ink bottle. But I wanted to try that sample. I wanted to use the Robert Oster because that was the first time I'd ever used it. I never tried the Robert Oster until today. The same with the Liberty's Elysium, as well as the Noodler's Squeteague. So those are 3 inks. And I had a whole lot of ink samples that had just come in just this week. I mean, I got a few bottles of ink that came in, but I put all my ink samples in Yoda here. So I'm just going to drop that sucker in here. But yeah, I dig Yoda. So anyway, 2.5 ounces of pen. You know, I've collected silver in the past, and an ounce of silver is a good, nice little hefty piece of silver. That's 2.5 of those suckers. So anyway, not a bad week for me in the pen world. I can't complain. I got some nice additions to my collection. I got some ones that are still on the way. Got outbid on some other ones. There was another Mont Blanc that I was going after that I got outbid on all the way through, and as well as some Vacuumatics that I was looking at. But, you know, one piece at a time. So, anyway, just wanted to share that with you. I'm loving this deer antler look. And, you know, it's a good, heavy pen that eventually I'll be able to pass on to somebody else, I think, within the family. If you're ever considering something, I know it's kind of late for Father's Day and all, but that might make a good gift for somebody else. And I'll put up the link where you can look at this guy's Etsy website, and you can look at some of the other pens he's got, because he's got some nice looking pens. Well, that's all I got for right now. I figured I'd at least get this in before it got too late and while I actually had some quiet time. Ciao.